Hi, I'm Jocelyn with Sunshine Therapeutics and the Voyage to Heal. This is another weekly blog post for the Voyage to Heal weekly tasks. And we've been focusing a lot on letting go and realizing what makes us happy, which then makes us want to set goals. And one of the things that I found so important when setting goals is that we allow them to unfold according to God's plan and God's time. We like to set deadlines, and deadlines are good because they keep us focused on achieving a goal. But sometimes we can get too attached to that deadline and too attached to that time frame when we want to get things done, and we miss all the signs that are trying to direct us to make that goal come into fruition and truly make the journey happy, not just the destination. Because if the journey isn't happy getting there, then when you reach the destination, you're just exhausted. You're not going to be able to enjoy what you truly wanted to because your soul has been depleted because you've pushed and forced. And so we're really going to focus today on allowing our bodies to soften, allowing our hearts to soften, and allowing ourselves to go on God's time and no forcing, which is one of the primary principles with myofascial release, is that you do not force. You are shifting tissue memory. You are shifting the way you think so that your body just naturally softens. So you're at a more peaceful state, more flexible, not rigid, and things do just flow. For what you think is what manifests. So if you think a task is going to be tough, if you think that a task is going to go along smoothly, what you envision will happen, but it has to be what you believe in your heart. And when you force, it is like damming up that river. Things upstream are going to suffer, things downstream are going to suffer, and things stay stagnant. They don't move. So when we allow ourselves to go with the flow, things move along smoothly. Doesn't mean you're not going to have challenges, but when you have those challenges, rather than going about it with force, you're going to take a step back and say, okay, why is the stopping point there? And in yoga, there's a tale of an elephant called Ganesh. And Ganesh gets in your way to stop and make you think, not to say, oh, you're on the wrong path, go this way. Maybe it's saying that, but it says stop and think. Is this the right path? Is this where you want to go? So we're going to focus on that, as well as the saying on my mantle that says that happiness is the journey, not the destination. So we're going to go with the flow and never, ever force things to happen. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is our dynamic stretches. And one of the areas that is essential for moving forward that can stop a lot of people is, of course, the hamstrings, which are the back of the legs. So I'm going to come down to the floor with you now, and we are going to stretch those wonderful hamstrings. And favorite way to stretch those nice hamstrings is, of course, to spread the legs apart a bit here. I'm going to scoot back a little more so you can see me in my wild fun pants. You know, sometimes it can get boring at home, so we've got to make things fun. And I brought my little saying from on my mantle so that I can set it right here, and I'm going to angle the screen down so that you can remember that, because that is our mantra for today's practice. Oh, look at that. You can't see my face. So let's push that screen back just a little bit. See if you can see my face. No. See all our video challenges? So hang tight with me while I figure this out. I'm just going to move the camera over here. And then this way it gives us more room. But hopefully you can still see our little saying that we're going to focus on there, that happiness is the journey, not the destination. So important that you allow that happiness to flow, okay, with you. And so you'll see I've got some pillows here, okay? And I'm going to angle the camera now that I know where we have to be over this direction, okay? And these pillows, for those of you who have hamstrings that are really, really tight, feel free to put these pillows underneath your knees. Okay, they're just little pillows. You can use blanket rolls, towel rolls, whatever you want. But make sure that if you do have knee problems or those hamstrings are really, really, really tight, you can put these extra supports underneath it, okay? So that's why those are there. And if you want, you can even put them underneath your bottom, or you can do this stretch in bed, okay? You don't have to sit on the floor to do this. If doing both legs is too much, just bring one leg in and you can do one leg at a time. But we're gonna start with some dynamic stretches. I like just being here on the floor. So with our dynamic stretches, what we're gonna do to start off with, shake those legs out, okay? Remember back a couple weeks ago, our saying was, I let go of control, and so I can try another way, right? So I know the stretch can be a little more intense. So let's just shake it out, wiggle your butt. Yeah, just like that. Shake it out so that you're getting the whole body loose. Now, we're going to always use our breath, breathing in and out. We're going to take that breath in. We're going to exhale, reach forward and come up. I always like to do this one starting dynamically. So we're going to go one way, center, and then the other way, and do that a few times. All right, and you don't have to go all the way down to your toes. I inherited a good amount of flexibility, and so I can. But there was a time when I had strained my right hamstring, and stretching it, strengthening it, did not make it happy. It just needed to be rested. And so I honored that and gave it that rest. So if you have strained a muscle, that muscle's already been pulled to its extreme. You do not need to, you don't need to be stretching that. Honor it, strengthen it. Kinesio tape is really awesome, putting it on in a direction to turn that muscle on so that it helps it out, and making sure we keep breathing. If you find you're holding your breath with this, I want you to hum, I want you to sing, whatever it takes. Talk to yourself, talk to your body. That is such the element of these myofascial release stretches, is that we're slowing down so that we can talk to our body. Now, come on back up, and we are going to think of the last few weeks as we've let go of control so we can try another way. We've given ourselves permission to accept where we are right now as a transformational point to transcend us to a better way of being, and we're going to reflect on what makes us so happy. And how can we use those things to facilitate our goals, and never, ever, ever to force. That I allow happiness to be my journey along my way. And there's an absolutely wonderful book by, and I'm going to say it how I see it, so it may not be correct, Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi called Flow. And he also has a book about flow and time, and it's about setting those goals, but having them be like you always are continuing on with your goal. So once you get there, you're not like, okay, now what's next? You've enjoyed the journey so much that you want to continue on. You don't want to just say, oh, thank God, finally did it, done, move on. So we're going to allow happiness to unfold. So whatever side was easiest, whether it was to the left, to the right, or forward, I want you just to hold that stretch and think about your goal and envision that goal coming to you, and just talk to your body. Let your body guide you. If holding that one position is too much, wiggle your legs. Come out of the stretch a little bit. Breathe. Never, ever force. Never force. And you can use this as a time to reflect on things that you have tried to pursue that may not have gone as well as you thought. And I think about my journey through life with so many things that I wanted to achieve, to happen, and, set deadlines and timelines. And, I force things to happen, and I reflect on those. And those times that I forced, unfortunately, I don't have the most pleasant of memories of them. That when I did reach the destination, I got there not very happy. And that definitely tainted the experience. Maybe that moment that I finally achieved it was joyous. But when I reflect back on it, I see more struggle and more hardship. And I realized this and thought to myself, well, gosh, that sort of ruins the whole destination, because I wanted it to be this joyous experience. And the problem was I was forcing things to happen and not slowing down and allowing them to flow. And when we do slow down and we do allow them to flow, they come out so much better. So for instance, when I was redoing my website a couple years ago, it was supposed to have been done in May, and it didn't get done until December. But that was okay because I had a lot going on. I hadn't finished the Voyage to Heal, and I was able to get more focused. I was able to understand the Voyage to Heal, so that when it became an online process with videos and pictures and handouts and just so many things, that it's so much better than if it had been put out in May of 2018, I guess it was. And the same thing with putting together my weekend excursion. It was supposed to have happened in May of 2019, but instead it happened in, when it happened, January of 2020. And it was fantastic. There's so much I'm going to revamp of it, of course, but the first time round, I was so pleased with how the initial debut came, and the right people were there. It was an amazing experience. So thank you all who came. And I look forward to future people coming to our weekend excursion that we'll hopefully be having in August of 2020. And then the other part, I'm working on getting the workbook together for the Voyage to Heal that will be tangible for those that don't want to do the online experience. And, that project was started in May of last year, and it's still in process. But if it had been done when we originally scheduled it, that was before last October, it wouldn't have had the insights. I'm so grateful that I was able to do the weekend excursion, because that puts so many more things in perspective to make things more clear. And it's going to be such a better workbook, because I didn't force a deadline. And I said, this will happen when it is supposed to happen. And I know that can't always work that way, especially when we're in a job and there's multiple divisions that are forcing us. But along that journey, sometimes it's stepping into knowing how to speak up. So as you go about your personal goals, your business goals. Allow them to unfold. Don't force. I allow happiness to be my journey, not just my destination. I'm going to be quiet now and allow you to reflect on events in your life that have unfolded as they should, or see where they could have been better to help you prepare for the future. If you found that in a lot of events in your past that may not have turned out as you had hoped or weren't as pleasant, that you were forcing, I want you to move over to your left leg and stretch down towards your left leg. And the reason for that is that the left side is our loving, nurturing, compassionate side. And let that compassion, that love, that softness come through as you focus on your next goal that you want to achieve. Now, if you found instead that when pursuing these goals, they just never happened because there are too many things that got in the way and you allowed people to push you around and you just didn't have that drive to make them happen, to step forward and take charge, I want you to go to the right leg because the right side of our body is the step forward, take charge, get it done. And so allow that side to soften, allow that side to release. As you say, I give myself permission to take charge, to make things happen, but allowing myself to enjoy this process. Whereas on the left, I give myself permission to allow those goals to flow smoothly, to have compassion and understanding as they unfold. Feel free to stay on the side you're at, or you're welcome to go to the other side of the body and allow that side to soften, to release, talk to it. Remembering the right is to take charge, left is compassion and understanding. And now return to the center, feeling the difference so that we balance out taking charge on the right and having compassion and understanding from the left side, and pursuing our goals with the utmost intent for the benefit of all, and trusting that God's time is our time. We allow things to unfold. Remember, every event in life is an opportunity. It's neither good nor bad. It just transcends us to a new place, a better place. And if it isn't to happen, there's something even better that will. There's no need to force. Just allow yourself to. I encourage you to continue to hold this stretch, feeling your body, your mind, and your soul soften and transcend. Thank you, and Godspeed on your voyage to heal. Love you. Have a great rest of your day.